Hey everybody, good afternoon. Welcome to the Digital Weather Desk powered by CenturyNext Bank. What's next for you? Visit cnext.bank for more. The exclusive banking partner of the Digital Weather Desk, and I had the privilege of meeting with the main branch this morning during the 8 a.m. time frame. Wonderful group of folks over there in Ruston. Look forward to meeting with the Crossit folks, the Ashley County folks with CenturyNext next week. Just are visiting them and getting a chance to know some of our business partners and some of the folks in the community, and just some wonderful folks. A check of Caney Lake as the fog rolled in this morning. This picture was submitted via the Digital Weather Desk app, which is available for the Apple and Android users. Links to download can be found at digitalweatherdesk.com. James sent this in. Pretty awesome picture there. The fog was an issue in some spots this morning, then cleared up pretty rapidly across the area as we worked through the day. In fact, I think James actually sent that 2 mornings ago. Info. Yeah, it was yesterday evening. Sorry. I said this morning. 6:15 yesterday. So thanks, James. I don't want to misidentify your picture. Check of temperatures across the area. This afternoon's forecast made possible by the United Way of Northeast Louisiana and the 211 Initiative. A reminder, the family relief effort post-ice storm is underway. To donate, you can text Family Relief, all one word, to 91999. Of course, the need is great across our area, so every dollar amount, every little bit helps. Again, Family Relief, all one word, to 91999. And of course, you can always dial 211 to get connected to resources in our area. We are still seeing a pretty cool afternoon, low 40s along the Mississippi Valley. Some areas are back in the upper 40s to near 50 degrees, and a much drier air mass is in place. Dew points have fallen back into the 20s and 30s, so again, humidity values are quite low, and winds picking up a little bit, especially in the last hour, back up into the 10 to 15 mile an hour range. They were generally meandering in the 5 to 10 mile an hour range literally until about the last 20 minutes or so. And so again, those winds will stay breezy at times, a smidge through the afternoon. A reminder, stay out from under trees, especially the ones that look especially battered from this past ice storm. There's a lot of tree limbs falling. In fact, there's still a few limbs falling in our neighborhood. We heard some last night, so just be aware of that. Check the visible satellite, and quite a bit of sunshine. If you look closely enough, especially through the mid-Mississippi Valley, portions of southeastern Arkansas up toward the Memphis area, you see clouds that are not moving. Those aren't clouds. That's still ice. Yes, still quite a bit of ice across the region. And of course, if you drive through the shady spots here in portions of northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, and western Mississippi, there's still ice to be had across our area as well. It's just more prominent on the satellite where it is a little bit more dense and a little bit thicker through portions of the mid-Mississippi Valley, like I said, from southeastern Arkansas through Memphis and stretching into northeastern Arkansas as well. We also still start to see the next round of cloud cover, reinforcing shot of cooler air is kind of punching in, and that will keep us cool through the day tomorrow, leading the way to the warming trend that we expect this weekend. Your radar products, as always, are made possible by Brown's Roofing. Schedule your free roof inspection, commercial or residential, at brownsroofingla.com. Rhonda says, thank you for all you did last week. 8 days without power, and I kept you sane. Well, again, we're just playing our little small role in the community to help out. And the Digital Weather Desk's role is to provide you actionable information and to provide some calm and some comfort when in chaos sometimes. And it gets dicey sometimes. And so we all have to be here to provide a little bit of community. So hopefully things are doing better for you, and I hope things are turning up for a lot of the community. Again, it's going to be a lot of cleanup and a lot of restoration and a lot of time, but we'll get there. Again, nothing doing radar-wise, and really not expecting any precip here in the short term. Look at the satellite radar composite, and we will expect the clouds to kind of sneak back in, at least for a brief period of time tonight. Futurecast, made possible by Bayou Power Sports I-20 Frontage Road in Monroe, shows those northerly winds and the little bit of cloud cover that will endure tonight. Should clear out pretty quickly tomorrow. Sunshine, but still a cool day. Winds return to the southwest as we head into the day on Friday, eventually inviting a new cold front in Friday afternoon, Friday night. That actually has some punch to it. Instead of seeing upper 60s for highs on on Saturday, it looks like we may trend even colder than that. Not necessarily dramatically cooler, but upper 50s to near 60 degrees for highs. So again, the latest data that's coming in is just trending cooler briefly through the day on Saturday. Winds are back out of the south through the day on Sunday, and it leads us to a warming trend through the rest of the weekend and into the early parts of next week. A look at the temperature outlook over the next 6 to 10 days. And it shows a high confidence of being above average from February 10th to February 14th. And then the 8 to 14 day pattern, which would carry us from February 12th to February 18th, also shows a high confidence of being above average. Now, again, I want to preface these maps, and I always try to show these and then provide some kind of context. Kim says, Monroe peeps watching from Canada. Hello, eh? Get it? Hey, you know how you spell Canada? Canada. Anyway, here's a look at the temperature outlook over the next 8 to 14 days. And again, the point I was trying to make is that while these show the potential of being, or the confidence of being above average, you shouldn't necessarily infer or imply how far above average. I think it'd be imply, infer, either one. You shouldn't misinterpret these graphics for saying how far above average they will be. It just shows a confidence of being above average. And it's pretty confident in the 6 to 10 day and 8 to 14 day pattern. So even if we're 1 or 2 degrees above average during that stretch, these maps technically verify. So again, I don't want folks to get, we're always trying to balance messaging. I don't want folks to get too crazy in one direction or the other when it turns toward the patterns in the middle of the month. A look at Futurecast, and this is a look at mid-level winds and a look at 850 millibar temperatures, which is closer to the surface, but the daily cycles of sunshine, hot, cold aren't as amplified, if you will. It's probably not the best map to try to describe, but you get the general takeaways of mid-level and upper-level pattern and general temperature trends at the surface. We get that reinforcing shot of cool air that continues Wednesday through the day on Thursday. And then beyond that, we are in a changing pattern as our upper ridge of high pressure starts to kind of recenter itself across the central United States. So in this stretch, we are seeing this little hump in the jet stream, which is not going to allow for any kind of significant cold air. It also doesn't really allow for a lot of significant moisture transport. We're not talking, these winds are not aggressively strong. So we're not just transporting boatloads of moisture. Yeah, we are seeing a return flow of moisture during this stretch, but it's nothing egregious. This upper level system out to the west is fairly weak, and then it just kind of stays there. And so you can see the warm air transport that is very persistent during this stretch. And what you can really evolve and take away from this pattern is there is no huge dip in the jet stream which is going to transport cold air this direction. The upper level pattern, the upper level pattern really shuts everything polar jet wise off. And while we do allow for some return flows of moisture, we don't really set us up for a stretch where we can allow for that jailbreak of cold air. Now again, that doesn't mean we're done with winter. It just means here in the short term, we're done with winter. We're in a spring-like pattern for about the next 7 to 10 days. Once we get beyond that, could we see a change? Absolutely. So here's a look at what that means in terms of temperatures at the surface, specifically from Friday through Saturday. I really want to focus on that Friday, Saturday cold front and the changes because this is a noticeable change in the forecast. So we're still upper 60s to near 70, compressing the air ahead of the cold front on Friday. Again, a front moves through and it kind of squeezes all the air together. So when you squeeze all the air together, all the air molecules bounce off each other a little bit faster, and the air gets warmer. It's essentially, we call it compressional warming. Compress the air, warm it up. So then the front moves through late in the day Friday, not early enough to really make any kind of impact on daytime highs. Northerly winds build in. And then the cooler air is arriving Saturday morning and through the day on Saturday. And it really doesn't give us much of an opportunity in the mid to upper 50s to near 60. It doesn't give us much of an opportunity to warm up through the day. The winds are fairly muted through the day on Saturday. But then as we go deeper into the day Saturday and into Saturday night, winds are already back out of the southeast and the south. And it kind of leads the warming trend that we expect Sunday, Monday. By then, we should be back in the 70s in many spots, or at least firmly into the 60s. Kind of a topsy-turvy week ahead, if you ask me. Daytime highs for the rest of the day, low to mid-50s. Some spots along the Mississippi Valley will probably get stuck in the 40s. It's going to be a cool day, especially the winds will still pick up out of the north 10 to 15 miles an hour through the rest of the afternoon, but quite a bit of sunshine along the way as well. Cold tonight, a lot of us dropping below freezing. Some of us dropped below freezing this morning. Most of us will drop below freezing tonight. Upper 20s to low 30s. A lot of us will see the 20s, so make sure that you're staying warm safely. Look at the 7-day forecast made possible by 3B Hardware, and you can kind of see the topsy-turvy thing as we work that cold front in on Friday. So we're back near 70 Friday afternoon, cold front late, cooler Saturday. I didn't get really crazy with temperatures. I'm keeping us near 60. Some computer models suggesting that we'll see the upper 50s or mid-50s. We may have to bring them down into that level, but again, it's nothing egregious either way. Low 70s for highs Monday, Tuesday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Could reintroduce rain chances Tuesday, Wednesday next week as the upper level winds start to favor that deeper moisture return. And we could entertain a storm system during that stretch that helps to bring some focus into the rain chances as well. But the next week, pretty quiet, which is not a bad thing. There's, again, a lot of folks are, A, we're just trying to get power restored. B, a lot of folks are still chopping up tree limbs and doing yard work, patching roofs, those types of things. So you really just don't want to deal with rain. We need a nice stretch of weather, a good week to 2 weeks of just calm conditions so everybody can kind of get their feet back under them. And I know for a lot of folks it's going to take longer than 2 weeks, and so I don't want folks to think that I'm discounting you in any way, but 2 weeks of quiet conditions would at least get us trended in the right direction. May, thank you for joining in. Bert says, I want hopped up on Red Bull and coffee, Jared. Who's to say this isn't hopped up on Red Bull and coffee? I had a cup of coffee with my friends at Century Next when I went and visited them this morning. That was a cup of coffee on an empty stomach, which is crazy. And then this is empty. So this is hopped up, Jared. I just don't have anything to be all like, I don't have anything to be Rage Monster about right now. I could still be Rage Monster about posting all those precip totals and everybody misinterpreting what they were. But I'm over that now. It was kind of amusing. Again, Rhonda, thank you for your kind words. Armand, love the way you explain what it all means and how to interpret. I hope it all makes sense. The one thing that I will honestly say before we split for this midday stream is in this new platform, everything is still very new for me, okay? I've been talking about the weather for my half my life, which is great, but talking about it in this manner, in this avenue, in this platform is still very new. Not being able to physically point at things and having to either telestrate or draw it out is cool, but sometimes I forget that I have that ability, or sometimes I just don't utilize it the best way I should, but we'll get there. Again, this is still very much a learning experience for me along the way as well. And so there will be things that, along the way we can make things more efficient and a little bit better. And if you have any tips or critiques or anything along the way, I'm always open to hearing them. But sometimes when I talk about things and I sometimes wonder, I'm like, did I make that make sense? And I have to even sometimes turn to my wife and go, did that make sense? And most of the time she goes, I don't know, I wasn't paying attention. I can say that because she's not in here right now. Leah, Susie, Joy, Rena, thank you so much for joining in. Like I said, we're still just a few months into what in the next days, weeks, months, years to following it'll continue to change, and I've got a lot of plans for this year, but it's going to take time and it's going to take business support, and we're getting there, and we've got a lot of folks that are interested in helping us out, and we're excited to hopefully bring a lot of those folks on in the coming days and weeks. But again, there's only so many hours in the day, and I'm only one person, so we I have to prioritize what we want to get done, and I'm really enjoying providing this outlet in this community, or helping kind of center it. You guys are the community, but to be able to be a kind of a focal point and kind of bring us all together and create something that we can all be a part of, that's cool stuff. I like it. Georgianne, thank you so much for joining in, and it's way cool to have you on here. Forecast is always available at digitalweatherdesk.com and on the Digital Weather Desk app, available for Apple and Android users. How do I download it? Go to digitalweatherdesk.com. The links to download are there. You can learn more about our partnership with Weather Call Next Gen as well. I'll join you a little bit later today with a look at the forecasts, and your fishing game comes out at 8 o'clock tonight. I got graphics to tinker with. I'm always building some new graphics and trying to create some new stuff. And so we're going to get creative this afternoon. May not amount to anything, but we'll see what happens. Thanks so much for taking time out of the day to listen to me ramble about nothing. This is where the caffeine kicks in, because I'm just talking about whatever. Jan, thanks so much for joining in. Again, latest forecast just got updated about 20 minutes ago on the app, so if you haven't checked it here lately, the numbers are different, so go take a look. Sheila, thank you so much for joining in as well. Again, love leaving these weather forecasts for you for when you need them as well. And I'll join you later today. Thanks so much for stopping by the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank. As always, so glad you're here. Have a great Wednesday, and I'll check in with you in a couple of hours.